sets, rules. Okay. Yeah. So next thing, actually, we talk about the checking, checkout, and private edit feature as well. So today, actually, we are going to see the same thing within the application. Actually, it's created some more rules, right? It's like your work group, work basket, organization, division, unit, and access group wise access group, access role. Yeah. Hi, Nageshwar. Yeah, Nageshwar. Actually, just started. Okay, like just starting of that uh, of the continuation of the yesterday session. Actually, what we got through in yesterday session. Okay. So now actually we see what are the different organization rules which we have created. So if you go to the org and security, okay, if you go to the designer studio, org and security, you can see organization and organization chart in that. In the organization chart, actually all the organization present in your system, it will display it here. Okay, different organization we have given, and the current organization which we have, actually it is displayed in this manner. In earlier version, like if you see in Pega 6, it was little different. When you are creating an application also it was different. But there was different rules for that. Application accelerator, application profiler. So there actually first you need to create your organization and then you should create all the rule sets and everything you need to create it yourself. But with Pega 7, they have simplified how you can create your application as well. So here you can see that this is your organization. Okay, if you click right click, you can do many things in that. You can add organization, add division to organization, view operators, add operator, and open the rules as well. Let's see, we have open the organization rule. Same thing, we can just give me a minute. Ma, organization, we have organization, then we have division, then you have unit. So Pega follows this structure for actually allocating the work. Actually, when you got work, right, actually you need to allocate the work. So that's the time we mainly like depend on that. Actually, you should have a branch manager, you should have some division within that. You have multiple things, right? So you have different managers and different person will work in different branch and within that. So if you want to create one more division here, see, let's see, you want to create one more division. So here you can give me the name of the division, let's say ET. So that is going to create one more division within that. And let's say within that IT, you are going to create a division again, add unit to division. So here you can give the division as like support. Okay. So that's like within that organization you can have multiple structure for different labels. So if you say have IT support, sales branch, and you can have multiple units also within a division. So if say within that you want one more unit, investigation. You want that one more like you can put like warranty support. We should not be any spaces in that unit name. So like you can see, you can able to create multiple division, multiple branches within the organization. And one more thing is there, you can create subunit as well. So if you say within that you want to take the branch, you want actually a subunit as actually you want this subunit, right? So there will be an option to add subunit as well. So this is like you want to add it unit as the subunit within the branch. Okay. So this way you can see the structure. Now we can able to create different level of organization structure, organization division unit. We are able to do that. Okay. So you can see that in the rule. You can open the unit and we can see out what are the things we have in that. And you will see the subunit rule as well. Yeah. So these are the 4 basic rules we have now. So organization, you can see that it's created by application, okay, and then the who should have access to it, and like purchase administrator has access to it, and what's the top level class name, okay, and what's calendar we are going to follow for organization level, you can mention it here. If you have the organization, you put the default calendar or US calendar, or depend on your region, you can put calendars. I'll talk about the calendars in as well in the later session. So this is the main information you provide into the organization level. So this is, if you can see the rule wise, it doesn't contain much thing, but it actually support the organization structure, the class structure, you will get it from there. The work and class structures, you will get it from this. Then this is the division rule, and the division rule also you can see if there is not much things, because we are not using division that much. So this is like we can also not doing anything much. So you can just see cost center and cost center manager, we can put it into the division rule. Okay. Then you have the branch. So that's the unit rule. So in unit rule, who is the manager of the unit and who is the model user. So if you are going to create any operator, it will replicate this user to that. So that's the model user for the unit. Okay. So basically, like if you can see, and in the sub unit, actually you can see that it will be reporting to that unit. So here you can see that the payment which we are putting that it's reporting to branch. So the same unit can be reported to multiple as well. So you can put multiple unit names also here. So the same unit can report to multiple units as well. So if you say you want to put it one more name, if you have the structure. So if you say one more unit, warranty also we have payment. Okay. So if you say we have unit warranty as well. So you can save it out. Okay. And if you see the structure here, in the warranty also will contain payment within that. Okay. So the same unit, it's pointing to both branch and warranty. And within the investigation also, if you want to payment, after that you can include there as well. So the same unit is reporting to 3 different units in that scenario.
Mukesh, Sakib, here one question. So the chat from where did you open that? I didn't follow that. Like the first
So
tab, the organization.
there are two ways to get it displayed. Okay. Okay. So if you see it, in the Designer Studio, org security and organization chart. Okay.
Okay.
So from here you can able to see that the chart one.
This chart will show us the like class hierarchy, the rules and everything, is it?
No. It's actually like just give you the organization structure. It will not give you the class structure. The class structure it will get you to from here. If you
Okay.
just see the top level class name, it will give you the complete class structure from there.
Okay. So this particular application organization chart it will show us.
You can see any organization, but if you open it, it will see that okay, this is the current organization. It is open. So if you close it, it's actually like if you can see that out.
Oh,
So you can see like as many as actually like you can create in that.
oh, okay.
Okay. And now if you want to create operators as well, so you can go that I want to create the operators in that. I will able to create the operators as well. So there is actually if you see I want to create operators. So here it's like you can able to create the operators as well. So let's you want to create any name here. So if you see branch 1. Okay. So that way, what access group you want to give it to him. So if you say this is actually we are going to give the user. So this is the we have our application is eGate, right? So we want to get the access group of eGate. Where is the eGate? eGate is not coming. It should get me the access group for the eGate. One minute. Which we can go for. Like so, from here actually we can see the access groups as well. So from access groups, if you go to that, it will show you the all the access groups which is available. So if we say we are going to keep the eGate. How come? Okay. Sorry. Actually, eGate is the company name. Okay, it's based on the application name. It will come. Sorry, I was. Okay. This will come from the organization. Okay, so it will be purchase. So this is based on the application name. It comes. So we can say purchase users. You want to create. It will create the purchase user for you. So we can able to create the different users as well. And if you want to see all the operators within the organization, if you click here and you can see the view operator, you will see all the operators of that one. So if you can see Mukesh, admin, author, branch, one, manager and user, all the things you can see it here in a single place. So that is like here it will give you the complete users available in the complete systems. And if you want for this specific one, you can see for specific organization also. Okay, so these are the rule are there. So branch, your division, and this rule. Okay, So we can just we are done with this. Okay, so these are the basic rules which we have with the organization, division and unit. We can create multiple division, multiple unit, and one unit can report to multiple unit as well. Fine. So the next rule actually we'll talk about is operator ID. Okay, you have yeah, we'll talk on that. So this is the operator rule. Okay, what are the things we are seeing in the operator rule? We'll just check it out now. So this is the contact information. You can upload an image, first name, last name, what is the email ID is the basic information. The main information is this one, access group. What are the different access group a user can have? So based on the user group, he can access to different application. So if I've given an access to, so actually the number of access group, you will see it here, right? The same, you can switch to them. So here you can able to option here switching to different application from here. So if you say like I'm in this application, if I'm going to add in one more application, right? So let's say actually we are going to do it in a fast way. So let's say I'm going to create a new application. Okay. So we can say it's like we want to create a delivery within that. Okay. So here we are not going to use trigger rules itself. We are not going to create it. So we are going to create the implementation only with the same organization. Okay. And we are getting that to track the delivery. Okay. Delivery is the case name. We should not give the same name there. Let's say actually we get the track. Else we give you track. Okay. And next data. Okay, fine. Actually, we're not creating any data as of now. We just give the create of that. So within that organization, it's going to create a one more application. Okay. Let's it will creating that. We'll discuss more on that. Okay. And once it will be created, what it is going to do that we are going to add that access group here as well. Okay. Yeah. So that actually like depend on the number of access group you have. You can see actually you can switch to different access group. So that is like each one is represent to different application or different role within that. Okay. If you see the like if you click onto that, it will open the access group role. So in access group role, we define that what application is going to access. Okay, this is the application name. So which version we are going to access. Okay, what is the portal? Okay, so portal is actually like we say actually I have access to 4 different portal. So now we can see that it's actually switched to delivery now. Okay, I can see now actually I have access to all of the 3. So I can go to the purchase from here. I can go to the delivery. So currently that is pointing to the delivery application. Now if you go to the back to my back application, it will show me my back application. So if you see my operator ID now, it will show me delivery as well. So let's see, it's actually added in the application in my access group as well. So there is 2 applications, one purchase, one delivery. Okay. Now actually I'm able to switch to different application and able to work on different application as well. So access group I'm talking about. So in access group you can see there are 4 portals. So the same 4 portal you will see in the launch. So this is the designer studio, the developer studio. Another 3 you will see it here, Pega Express, manager and user. So depend on the portal available here, you will able to see the same in launch portal as well. Okay. And one more thing, actually the operator, actually at one point of time you will be able to access only one access group. There multiple access group is mentioned in your user ID, but one access group will be active at a time. Then you cannot access multiple access group in the same time. Your user ID will be associated only one access group at a time. Then you have your roles. Okay, this is the different roles which we have. Okay, these are the main thing which decide the what are the different access you have. Okay, so if you say one thing, actually we are going to open administrator. Okay, this is the frame of SysADM4. So this is the Pega default role which actually give the all the access. So for each class, okay, in the access role, what we do is for efficiency, the base class, okay, you can see all the class names are there. You can see it here. Okay, you have all the different roles available here. Okay, so this is the SysADM4, and within that you can see read instances, write instances, delete instances, read rules, write rules, delete rules, reports, and different privileges. So these are the actually will provide you the access what you can do. Okay, so depend on to the different access group, you will not have. So actually, if you are going to use a user portal, like if you are a user, what are the different access you have, we'll see it out from there. So if you say you are going to get the all the access group for this organization, so if you say access group will be purchase. Okay, so we'll search for it. So if you say a user, okay, user doesn't have that much privilege on that. So if you see purchase user role at the rate of base class, you can see he cannot do anything, read, write, delete instances. He can just read some of the rules. Okay, he can report, execute the report, and he has just 2 privileges. So there are depend on role, actually you will get the different access. So he doesn't have much access, if you can see it here. Okay. So if you go to the manager, he has more access than the user. So if you see from here. Okay. Yeah. So here if you see the purchase manager, he will have little more access than the user. So you can see that he can read the instances, he can read the rules, and some more privileges as well. So it's actually like depend on that. Actually, you can have access to different features which is in the Pega. He can read, write rules or like that. We can see that, and this is actually we mainly called as ARO. So if you click onto the one rule, so this is actually like whatever you're going to maintain updated. This is actually we call as ARO rule, access role of object. So here you can see that like all the this one and all the privileges you are mentioning it here. So this is actually mainly called as your ARO rule. So this is not that much is required because this is mainly done by senior people. So just for your understanding, you should know about access group. Within access group, you have access role. From access role, you do that. ARO, and there are some more rules are there like can perform, right? So this is access when rule. Actually, if I have access to can perform, I can do the read instances of it. So this is actually we call as access when rule. So if you have access, then you can able to read instances. So that is you can say conditional access. So if you have that, you are able to do that. So sometimes actually we provide the conditional access using the access when rule. So these are the different concepts associated with the security part of Pega. So when a user logs in, first it checks the access group. From access group, it decides that which portal you are going to display. and then which application you should first map to. So that's actually all decided from the access group. Okay. So this is the different features which is available in security side. And in the operator ID, there is actually one thing. Operator can be developer, it can be a manager, it can be a case user. Okay. So the work tab decide that what you are going to do. Okay. So here actually we have, you can see that you have the which unit you are going to belong. Okay. What is your default work group? So in the, if you open the default work group name, you will see that rule, what it contains. Okay. And if you see the calendar role as well, like we have US operator role. Okay, we'll see about that. So this is actually we call that operator work group. So work group can contain work from, actually I showed in the first diagram, right? It's like work group can contain work from different units and different divisions. So if you want to create the access, so user can access to multiple work basket at once. So that's the feature of work group. A different units work and other things you can assign to a single place. Okay. And there will be a manager who will going to authorize the work of work group. And within that, if you can see, there will be a default work basket. So work basket is nothing but a place where it will, like, the work will be there and the manager will route the work into user work list. So there is two concepts: work group, work basket, and work list. Work list is associated with the user, work basket is associated with the unit, and work group is related to multiple division and multiple unit. So there is work will can be come from the different units within that. Okay. So this is your work basket. So this is also, you can see, it doesn't contain that much, but just we need to refine the work. We go for work basket. And in the calendar rule, what's the use of calendar rule? So this is actually like not a normal calendar, it's a business calendar. Okay, where actually we decide that when is your holiday, okay, what is your work timing, and what are your working days. So that things you mention it here, and which time zone you are going to follow. So if you can see, a lot of time zones are mentioned it here. So that's actually like depend on it, like, because like if it is a global company, they have offices in US, they have offices in Middle East, they have offices in Southeast Asia, they have offices in Japan, Australia, and everywhere the timings are different. So if you say I'm assigning one work from US to Japan, so that actually like, it will depend on that when you are going to assign the work. Okay. So that's actually like we can mention that, like what's your work timing, when you are going to start and when it's going to be finished. So based on that, actually like we need to calculate SLAs. Like see, actually when you are designing the work in Pega, because this is a workflow, we design that SLAs. So based on that, we need to take the schedule as well. So if one person is not there, actually if you are assigning at 6 o'clock out of office hours, so we should not calculate that it's started. Okay. So that will be counted from the next day morning. And all the office holidays you can mention also it here. So this is actually we mention at a business calendar. Okay, it's not normal calendar. We normally is actually business calendar. While if you like allocating work, we'll able to get the calculating and routing of the SLAs of the work. Okay. So this is calendar rule. Work group, work basket, and work list. So work list doesn't have any name. So the operator ID name itself actually like we referred as work list. So work list is not a rule. So work operator ID itself named as work list. So this is the different rule which is associated with the organization. So organization, division, unit, work group, work basket, and calendar. So if you see the records tab, it actually tell about all the category of the organization, the 7 rule. Okay. So that actually like we have covered it up today. So this is like we're going to use it once again once we are going to create tasks, and we are going to allocate the task to different work basket, and during routing we are able to see it out. What's the use of all this again? Okay, so we'll stop it now and we'll continue again to start with the some of the basic stuffs again. So this is actually like the initial things which you should know before starting of the Pega application. So till this we have covered the initially building blocks or the different rules which is actually required to understand the Pega. So from tomorrow onwards, as we will start with the actual rules or the properties, the programming part of the Pega part of it. Okay. Yep. Any questions?
Yeah, Mukesh, I have one question.
Yes, Sati.
So, I'm confused with this work pool and work group. Like, how do we know about them? Like, I
That's
don't
what I'm
know
saying.
the difference.
I told that. Actually, I will cover it again. It will come back again in the when we actually the work will come now. You will able to see it
Okay.
out. Okay.
Okay.
Now
Yeah.
actually you will not able to see. Actually now you can just need to remember work group, actually multiple unit, multiple division, work list, work basket, single unit. Okay. And work list is for the individual one.
Okay. Work group is multiple.
Units, multiple division.
Okay.
Work basket, single unit.
Okay. And division?
Division doesn't come. Division actually, like if you say, that's the organization structure.
Okay.
I
No, I
just
mean
showed
for
you
work
that diagram,
basket,
right?
there are no divisions.
Sorry?
For work, you said for work group multiple units and multiple divisions, right? For work
Yeah.
basket, it is single unit and
Single unit.
single division.
See, if you say unit belongs to one division only, right?
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah.
Unit cannot belongs to
Mm.
multiple division. So unit belongs to one
Yeah.
division only.
Okay, okay. And
So
work pool?
work pool is a class group. Actually,
Okay,
yesterday we talked about, right? So work pool is
okay,
same next class group. So the
okay,
similar work type will be going to store in a single table.
okay. So it is same as class group, is it?
Yeah. Work pool is named as class group.
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'll send you one document, one actually like this one, which will give you some
Yeah, I'm
initial introduction
confused.
about that.
Yeah, I'm confused with all these terms.
Yeah.
Okay. Just send that document if you have any.
I'll give you some. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
Keshwan?
Mukesh.
Yes, Keshwan.
Yeah, Mukesh. Yeah. Okay, so I tried to install that software, okay. So it got the exception, and as you mentioned in the document, I tried to uninstall the Java versions and all. Again, I tried installing. Still, I'm getting the, some error.
Can you send me
Not
the
completing the.
screenshot, or actually like if you can share the screen, we'll be able to check it out. So tomorrow morning we'll see that one
Yeah,
first. Okay.
okay, just if you have time, you can see now that
Yeah,
what
that's
the
what I'm
error.
saying. Actually tomorrow morning we'll check it out.
Okay, fine then.
And actually, like you can, in meantime, you can send me the screenshot if you can able to see it out.
Okay.
Otherwise, we'll see that in the tomorrow morning first. Okay, in the class.
Okay, okay. So again, when we are trying reinstalling, that time we are anything, I mean, Pega we need to uninstall then install, or no need that?
Can you come again?
So if you want to reinstall Pega, okay, the first time when I installing, I got error, so it no, in the middle it got no, came out. So if you want to remove other software and thing, again if I want to reinstall Pega, the
Yeah.
previously installed one also
We'll see that one actually. Like Ashwin, actually, what we'll do is like you can share your screen and then we can check it out what the issues is happening. Okay.
Okay. Okay, fine then. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Cheers. Bye bye.